What is going on, YouTube? Welcome in to my Week 5 NFL picks. We're going to be picking every game here, Vegas style, trying to find some value in the gambling market for the risk takers out there. Coming over from Patreon the last 3 weeks. These videos typically are exclusive on Patreon except for the first NFL week of every month. So for those of you that do want to get this video every single week, head over to patreon.com. You'll get access. You'll support my channel in the process. And I'm happy to say that the last few weeks have been really successful here with these picks. We are 8-2 on my plays the last 2 weeks, 6-1 against the spread, 3-0 picking upsets. Haven't missed on a bet upset pick yet this year, something I really pride myself on because those are the biggest value bets right there. And then 6-2 on over-unders on the season as well. So we're off to a great start. Hoping to keep it rolling this week. Was definitely a difficult week here, week 5. A lot of tight games, a lot of games that can go either way, so I had to get a little bit nifty to come up with my plays this week. But let's go ahead and get into it. Please do hit that like button if you enjoy as well. And here we go, starting with the Thursday night game between the Rams and the Seahawks in Seattle for this one. I am going to take the Rams on account of me seeing them winning the line of scrimmage in this game. I think this could be a big Darrell Henderson game. I think Seattle's defense just doesn't quite have the horses to hang for 4 quarters with a kind of a pissed off Rams offense coming off the loss last week. That said, can never count Russell Wilson out, especially primetime football at home. I do think this comes down to the 4th quarter, but I'm going to take the Rams coming off a loss, just the better football team in this one, to pull it out in the end, 28-25, but I don't see a ton of value in this game. I think it's pretty close to a coin toss. Then the Jets at the Falcons, and I can't believe I'm going to do this. Part of this is because I just didn't see a ton of bets this week that I loved, but for the second week in a row, I am going to pick the New York Jets to win. Last week, I said I'm not putting any money on that, but I did pick them to win that game. This week in London, I'm going to be taking the New York Jets to beat the Falcons. A variety of reasons why I feel relatively confident in this. Now, of all of my plays this week, this is the one I would say put the least amount of money on, but there are a couple reasons I think this. Number one is I do think the Jets will win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The Jets' offensive line has not been atrocious, or at least it wasn't last week. George Fant's been okay at left tackle. The Falcons' defensive line is abysmal. If they can just block Grady Jarrett, I think Zach Wilson will be able to find some time to throw and take advantage of a not-so-good secondary. So I think the Jets will be able to move the ball offensively, and I actually think the Jets' defense can do pretty well in this game. Their front four reminds me of how the Eagles were able to dictate things with just big-bodied, just overwhelming, physically dominant defensive linemen, and that's what the Jets do have. So I do think they're going to make some things difficult for Atlanta's offense. You also have a shorter flight for the Jets as opposed to Atlanta, for whatever that's worth, but it is in London. And yeah, I'm going to just go with my gut here and pick the Jets. It is going to be an upset pick, a play, and a bet the spread there. Then we have Miami visiting Tampa Bay in a Florida to Florida matchup. I'm not bold enough to take the Dolphins in this game. I would lean towards Dolphins to cover the 10-point spread, but that's only because I think this is going to be more of a low-scoring game. I obviously don't think the Dolphins offensively have a lot of success against one of the best defenses in the NFL, but also I think Tampa Bay, I would say Miami matches up relatively well against Tampa Bay's offense as much as anybody can. Their front four is playing pretty well right now. They can get some pressure, but they're one of the few teams with the secondary to actually match up with this incredible group of receivers. So with a banged up secondary, I do think Tampa Bay just kind of plays it a little bit closer to the belt. Maybe not a game that they blow the Dolphins out, but the over-under in this game is 48 points. I really like the under in this game, so that is going to be a play in this one, is the under 48 points. Tampa Bay winning 27-13. Next up, Philly at Carolina. Carolina just landed Stephon Gilmore. He won't be playing in this game. I think he'll be in there week 6, maybe 7. Just a little note there, but I am going to take the Panthers to win this game. But I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I'm not going to like have a play on this game, but one thing that I really like in this one is if you can find the prop bet on over on sacks total in the game. Carolina's offensive line is a massive liability right now, and the Eagles can get after the quarterback, and then inversely, the Panthers have a very good pass rush against an Eagles offensive line that's had some hits and misses throughout the season, but I also think that they have the speed on the edge with Reddick and Burns to pursue Jalen Hurts, who does like to scramble. So I think on both sides of the ball, we see a lot of sacks in this game. I don't know if we can, if you're going to be able to get a team or just a game total on overall sacks, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, and the Panthers at home in this one with the better offense ultimately win it. But not a spread that I'm loving, and wouldn't be stunned if the Eagles like pulled out some miracles in the end and came away with the upset in this one. New Orleans at Washington. This is a very just impossible game to bet on. Both of these teams have been wildly unpredictable this season. You would think at some point Washington's defense is going to turn it on. I don't know if that's going to be this week against the Saints or not. You also are worried about, Jameis having a Jameis game, because it's just been a small sample size of this version of Jameis where he is playing much better football. I am going to take the Saints 16-13. This is one of my least confident picks of this week. So I'm just going to take the better team in this game and hope for the best, but definitely not a game I'm gambling on. Tennessee at Jacksonville, another really interesting game that I'm staying away from because it looks like the Titans are going to be without A.J. Brown and probably without Julio Jones in this one. Just going to have to lean on Derrick Henry abusing the Jags' run defense, which is very, very possible. And I think this Urban Meyer situation could have really two effects in this game. I could see a world where they actually, in a weird way, kind of rally around it in a game where they do have to play tough physical run defense. Like, I can see a world where they're kind of pissed off and bring a physical nature to this game. Or I could see a world where they're checked out and Derrick Henry runs for 5,000 yards and the Titans roll. It really just comes down to that, is if Jacksonville can stop the run. If they can stop the run, I think they can win this game. But that's a massive ask for a Jags defense that not just has been bad against the run this year, but I think they gave up like over 400 yards in 2 games to Derrick Henry last year. So definitely a concern. I will take the Titans, but a game I'm staying away from. Next, we have Detroit at Minnesota. And we're going to do something in this game that I've done the last 2 weeks, and we've gone 2-0 doing this. And this is a 3-team 7-point teaser, just kind of finding 3 games that have about a 7-point spread and then teasing them all together so that you don't have to risk those massive spreads. And it's worked very well. So Minnesota is going to be the first leg of this 3-team teaser. And I do think Minnesota wins this game pretty comfortably. Detroit has been kind of miraculously good at second half comebacks, so that's why you're a little bit worried about that 9-point spread. But I will be very surprised if Minnesota has a lot of hiccups with Detroit. They don't really have the pass rush to make Kirk Cousins uncomfortable, and they certainly don't have the secondary to run with Thielen, who's due for a big game, and Justin Jefferson, who was awesome last week, even KJ Osborne. So I think offensively the Vikings don't have any issues here. And then again, outside of kind of fourth quarter magic, which Detroit's been pretty good at, I think Minnesota's defense has a lot of success in this game too. So Minnesota at home, going to take them 30-20, maybe a little backdoor touchdown there, but they are going to be a part of a 7-point 3-team teaser. Denver at Pittsburgh. A lot of people are going to be on Denver in this game because everyone's kind of piling on Big Ben. I think Pittsburgh's defense shows up in this game, and I am going to take the Steelers to scrap this one out. We don't know at this point if it's going to be Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, but I do think Pittsburgh's defense can get after either of these quarterbacks and keep the score down. The over-under in this game is like 39 points. I think Vegas is kind of spot on with this one. Pretty close to a pick'em game, could go either way. I'm not very confident in it, but in a low-scoring game at home, I will take Pittsburgh, who I think their defense, as I've kind of said, is going to wake up a little more as the season goes on. And I think this is a good opportunity against an offense that was not good last week, whether they were with Bridgewater or Drew Lock. But especially if Drew Lock is in there, I think Pittsburgh wins this game. Next up, we have Green Bay at Cincinnati. This is like my almost upset pick of the week. Green Bay is just derailed by injuries at the moment on the offensive line. No Jair Alexander. Zadarius Smith is out as well. So even though Green Bay is playing really well, I do think Cincinnati has a lot of success offensively. This is about as big of a mismatch as you can draw up, is this Cincinnati group of receivers against a Green Bay group of corners that's going to be without Jair Alexander in this one. So I do think Cincinnati has a lot of success. Inversely, I think Aaron Rodgers brings it against a Bengals defense that's played pretty well, but I don't think they've been tested like this. So I'm not quite bold enough to pick the Bengals, but surely not betting on the Packers. What I do like in this game is over 51 points, because Green Bay in a situation where they have to score points, I really like an over in that game, because we know Green Bay's defense can kind of start reeling. So this is going to be a really fun game. I'm actually going to be in Cincinnati for this game, really excited. I'm going to be betting the over and cheering for some points, but I think it's a good bet too. Then we have New England at Houston. This is going to be the second leg of that 7.3 team teaser. I think New England finally gets back in the win column and just dominates Houston defensively. Really no reason New England shouldn't win this game by double digits. Honestly, they are 9-point favorites. But to get an extra 7 points in that teaser, I feel very comfortable about it. I mean, Belichick against rookie quarterbacks has become a meme at this point. Davis Mills has become a meme at this point. It could get really ugly really fast for Houston in this game. And as kind of sloppy as New England's been, they should be able to take care of business. Chicago at the Las Vegas Raiders. This game terrifies me. 5.5 point spread for Las Vegas. Khalil Mack revenge game, and I'm not actually saying that as a joke. Like, I think Khalil Mack could have a game-wrecking performance in this game that keeps Chicago very close. I also think Justin Fields is interesting in this one against the Raiders defense, and this could go in a lot of different directions. I do like the Raiders at home to win, but with how Alex Leatherwood's playing right now, I don't know if he's starting at right tackle, but even if he's not, it's not like they have a great backup situation. I'm staying away from this one from a gambling perspective. If I had to bet, though, I would take the Bears getting 5.5 points in this game. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think the Bears' defense plays really well in this one. And Justin Fields could mix things up and make this one interesting. So I will take the Raiders to win, but I do not feel good about it. Next up, we have Cleveland at the LA Chargers. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns to win this one. Sorry, Chargers fans. I did pick you last week, but I do think Cleveland's defense can make Justin Herbert look a little bit more human in this game. I think Cleveland's defense is absolutely legit. I think Rashawn Slater's been awesome. I do think that drawing Myles Garrett's going to be a problem for them, and even if he isn't, they can always lean on picking on Storm Norton on the other side, whether it's Clowney or Myles Garrett. So I do like that for Cleveland. I think Cleveland's secondary can handle all these playmakers. So I do think they make Herbert uncomfortable in this one. And then offensively, as bad as Baker's been playing, I think they'll be able to run the ball in this game. The Chargers are kind of that, put the ceiling on the offense type of deal where they will kind of ask teams to run. And I think the Browns will say, hell yes, thank you. We will take these 6-yard runs from Nick Chubb all day. So I think you get frustrating. You get the defense frustrating Herbert, and I think you get the Browns running the ball. And I also like Baker in this game to just kind of have a pissed off bounce back performance. So I'm going to take the Browns in the upset pick. It's not a play because I still really like the Chargers, and I think this could be really close, but I do think there's value in Cleveland to win this one. I think they match up pretty well with the Chargers. The Giants at the Cowboys, only 7 points here, and this is going to be that last leg of the 7.3 team teaser. So all you need is the Cowboys to win this game straight up, and New England to win by 3, and Minnesota to win by 3, and that pays like plus 120. So I really like this bet. Pretty self-explanatory too. I mean, Dallas is rolling right now. Yes, Daniel Jones is playing really good, and I think he will be able to move the ball. But ultimately, the Cowboys are just such a better football team, and they should be able to win this game at home. I mean, it's a pretty simple pick there. So that's the last leg of the play there for the 3-team teaser. San Francisco at Arizona, a surprise pick here. I'm going to take the Niners in a total no confidence pick. I think this is kind of a regress to the mean type of game where Arizona, coming off a game where they were really physical last week, could be, we see this a lot where teams kind of go all out for a big game and then they kind of have a trap game the next week, or they don't play as physical. I think San Francisco will be able to truly bully Arizona's defensive line, especially considering Trent Williams will be playing on the other side of J.J. Watt. So look for a lot of runs to the other side in this game. And I think San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan comes up with an interesting game plan. Trey Lance, we don't have a lot of tape on him. Probably going to be him this week. Could be Jimmy G. We'll see on that one. So again, I don't feel very good about this one. Just kind of a gut feel. But I do truly believe that 5.5 points is way too much for Arizona, because I think San Fran's going to play pretty pissed off in this game. Buffalo at Kansas City. This is possibly my favorite pick of the entire season so far. Last week it was actually Kansas City against Philadelphia. I said the same thing, but I feel very, very good about this bet. I think you're getting a ton of value in the market here because people are selling Kansas City like crazy. You're seeing power rankings where they're not even in the top 10, so people aren't betting on Kansas City right now, even though they've literally owned the Buffalo Bills in this matchup, and these teams haven't changed that much. And then for Buffalo, it's like they've had these blowout wins, but it's against the teams like the Texans and the Dolphins with Jacoby Brissett. So I just think there's a ton of value in this game. It's in Kansas City, and I love Kansas City getting 3 points. I almost thought about doing like play times 2, like just double your bet, whatever amount of units you put on a game, because that's what I did this week, but we'll keep it just singular here, I suppose. But yeah, I think Kansas City reminds people of how elite their offense is. And, their defense won't play well in this game. It's going to be an incredibly fun game. You might have to sweat it out a little bit. But honestly, I think with the way Kansas City is running the ball right now, it's kind of a little cherry on top. Josh Gordon's going to be playing in this game as well, which could add a little bit more to the Chiefs' offense. And yeah, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. The last note is all of Buffalo's edge rushers are kind of power rusher types. And the biggest weak link on the Chiefs' offense has been Orlando Brown at left tackle. And I don't think they have the kind of speed to take advantage of that matchup. So I just think everything's kind of leaning towards Kansas City in this game. And I'm sorry, Bills fans, but I'm going to take the Super Bowl 54 champion Kansas City Chiefs on the spread this week as a big play. And then Indianapolis at Baltimore. We're going to take Baltimore in this one. I'm not going to bet on this one as of this point in time. I could see a world where I actually put a little money on Indianapolis getting 7 points, because I think this is going to be a really scrappy, low-scoring game. Both of these teams defend the run very well, and both of these teams want to run the ball a lot. But ultimately, Baltimore has been passing the ball very well. I don't think Indianapolis has the pass rush to truly make Lamar uncomfortable. And I think that Marquise Brown and those receivers have a good day. Rashad Bateman might get out there in this game. So I'll take the better quarterback in this game to win it at home. But don't be surprised if Indianapolis makes this thing interesting. They defensively can take away Baltimore's biggest strength, or at least their scheme in their run game. And Carson Wentz has been okay in so far this year. He has not been great, but getting healthier week by week. Wouldn't be stunned if the Colts shocked the world in this one, but I will take the Ravens. And there are my Week 5 NFL picks. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, these picks will be up on Patreon now until the first NFL week of November. So if you want to get the exclusive access to those, head over to patreon.com/ThatFranchiseGuy. And that's going to do it. Let me know in the comments down below what your picks are. Please do hit that like button, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.